All right, welcome back to the show. Our guests this week are the stars of the Project 7 web series, which we found at the DSP Gaming channel. Returning to the show, welcome everyone. It's DSP and Howard.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me on again.
How's it going today, fellas?
It's going well. Been a busy day. A lot of stuff going on my channel, but this is a nice break from it, to be honest.
All right, what are you doing, Howard?
I'm on Yahoo right now checking my mail.
Oh, wow. While you're doing an interview.
Nice.
It's pretty funny because before we started recording, we all saw Project 7 Episode 2 for the first time today, and Howard has not actually watched it for whatever reason. And he's like, well, I'll watch it right now, but I'm like, no, we got to record, so you can't. So Episode 2 of Project 7 will be debuting very soon. Do we have a set date yet?
Since we now know it will be done in time, I figure right after any footage that we upload on Saturday, whatever co-op gameplay we do, it'll probably be immediately following that, so therefore it'll probably be up like very, very early morning Sunday, Eastern Standard Time.
So people are going to have to stay up all night waiting for this.
That's right.
They do it.
Yes.
It's worth it.
Excellent. So I want to talk about episode 2. Before we get there, I want to start at the beginning of this whole thing. So we've all known each other for a long time now. And when we first started hanging out all those years ago, we would, for the most part, get together and play games. We were heavy into fighting games, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned more into like doing game playthroughs for YouTube over the last couple of years. And now we're actually all writing and acting in a web series. So how would you guys describe this wild ride we've been on? And did you ever think we'd be going down this road that we're currently at?
No, I mean, when I started writing Project 7 in, 2010? I don't even remember now, but
2010.
I never thought it was going to actually be something that I would put serious time into. I thought it was going to be like a little joke series I would do and just see how people reacted. And now the fact that we have the contacts and the resources to make it what it's becoming, I mean, it's blowing my mind, but it's really fun at the same time.
What about you, Howie? Did you ever think we were back playing Street Fighter, that someday we'd be basically making movies?
No.
You ever think that was...
No, I don't know. I always thought that we would be doing playthroughs. I never really thought that, this kind of, we would get this kind of exposure, just from Phil's thing, But like I said, as it's funny how things, play themselves out, and, meeting these guys, or for you guys to meet these guys, and how they become like almost like a cog to everything that's been coming to fruition in the last couple of months. I would have never thought. Personally, I would have just kept playing Street Fighter and just called it a day. So
you got to keep pushing, man.
I would like to say, as of today, episode 1, the pilot episode of Project 7 has hit 186,000 views.
Nice.
And within only like 2.5 days, the trailer for episode 2 has hit almost 70,000 views. So
it's pretty crazy.
There's some crazy anticipation for episode 2 right now.
Wow.
So last fall, we decided that we would all be working with Respect the Pact on some kind of project. And then we were kind of throwing ideas out there, and we suggested that maybe we should make it Project 7. So, Phil, were you hesitant to bring back Project 7 at all? Did you have doubts on whether it could work or not?
Well, honestly, if you remember, it wasn't even my idea. It was your guys' idea to do Project 7 originally. You had said it to me in that first meeting.
Yeah.
And
I was annoyed because I would always get messages from people, where's Project 7? I wasn't even involved in that. So I'm like, let's just get this done.
Yeah, I mean, did I ever think I was going to bring it back in this capacity? Absolutely not, but simply because so many things had changed since I had originally done this series in 2010. Here I was on YouTube making money just playing games. I didn't think, number one, I never thought I would make money making videos to begin with, but I never thought that I would have the means to do what we're doing with the editing and the filmmaking and all the equipment. I don't have any of that know-how, so never did I dream that this was going to, come to fruition. And I don't know. It's kind of surreal that this little rinky-dink series, that never really was really meant to be anything but like a joke and a diversion for me. This one week when I was really bored and there was no new games, is now going to turn into this big popular web series. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of comedy in just that fact, I think, alone. It's like very funny, What about you, Howie? Did you have any doubts on whether Project 7 could come back after 2 years? We could pull it off.
No, I think from introducing you guys to Respect the Pact, I thought from the beginning that it would have worked out. No, but again, we can't do anything without Phil's blessing. So, I know I sensed when we first, pitched him the idea that, he was a bit reluctant to this whole thing of bringing it back since, when you do look at it, it was pretty amateurish, the whole series.
Wow.
But no, the whole series when he did it. But
thanks a lot. Thanks.
Whoa, Howard.
Appreciate it.
Hey, for what it for what it is, if you look at it, for somebody that did everything by himself, you did a real good job. So, but on the other hand, I didn't, I was afraid to see, if they would actually work well with us, since we, we're so used to doing things on the fly to go ahead and do things scripted. It's very difficult. But from even the first episode, how smooth it went. They went smoother than anything that I've ever done with them.
Right.
So
everything I do is smooth, Howard. You should know that.
I think my number one concern with doing Project 7 instead of a totally new project was it had nothing to do with working with Respect the Pact. It was more of Project 7's a 2-year-old thing. I have a lot of new fans over the past year and a half. Is anyone even going to know what the heck this is supposed to be?
Right.
And not having that immediate recognition of, what the hell is Project 7? And actually, that's what happened. When we first did the trailers or whatever for episode 1, I got a lot of feedback of, what the hell is Project 7? What are you talking about? And that's
what is this?
That's why I actually ended up doing that FAQ video, of explaining what it is, what's the background. And I actually re-released the original 3 Project 7 videos on my DSP gaming channel so that a whole new audience would see them.
Right, yeah, I think we're still getting a little bit of that, but I think as we get, people are still trying to figure out where we're going with this and what it is, and I think you will find out as you watch.
Oh, they will know after episode 2, that's for sure.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So in episode 1, the first scene we shot was actually Phil on the couch, resuming the last place we saw him in the original Project 7. And I know that outside of an elementary school production of The Lion King, I don't think you've done a lot of acting. So what's it been like for you? Guys, I'll start with Phil, but what's it been like for you to be under the lights and acting now, doing acting?
I don't really think I'm acting. I think I'm just like saying lines, random stuff. I am not a good actor, I know that, but I think that adds to the camp value of the series that, we're not a group of professionally trained actors trying to do something that's going to go on TV or in the movies. This is just a silly, fun web series, and that's what it's meant to be. So it's not anything new. I'm used to being in front of a camera, being that I have about 20,000 videos on YouTube right now. But it is a little bit different having to remember lines and having to try to convey a certain emotion in a certain situation. I'm sure we'll get better at it over time. Right now, I openly admit I suck at it. But
it's pretty difficult at times. It's kind of annoying to be like, I have to remember this, and
right,
and repeat yourself.
Right. So what about you, Howard? I know you worked with Respect the Pact a lot before this series ever started, but this is like that you're definitely doing a lot more dialogue with us. So what's it been like for you?
It's been a learning experience. I guess like I said before, I've learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about you guys. How well we work together. But overall, I think the largest hurdle for me, I have to agree with Phil, is learning. Is remembering lines. I have a really bad memory, a really bad short-term memory. So for me to try to look over something and try to remember is it's like a huge hassle for me. So I got to start hitting that ginkgo biloba like I was telling you guys before.
Oh wow, look at this guy.
Yeah, so
I think that's a good point, because when you really think about the kind of comedy that we typically do when we're playing games or we're even doing like a video of us on the road, that's all impromptu stuff. That's not anything that we write out ahead of time or we plan. When we're doing video game playthroughs, we don't write jokes for the game before we start playing the game.
Yeah, that would suck off terribly.
Oh, that would well, there's people who do it, and I'm not going to name names, but there are some popular YouTube channels of gamers who you can tell it's scripted, and they were just waiting for the perfect time to launch this joke when they're playing a game. I personally disagree with that kind of comedy. I think if you're going to do something that's like a playthrough, you should be doing it on the fly. But yeah, having to now memorize lines and try to remember specific things that you want to say in a certain area, it's a lot different from what we're used to doing.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like you're improving with the acting now that you've done 2 episodes? Do you think it's getting a little easier now, a little bit better?
Remembering lines, yes, but I think my acting actually has gotten worse.
Is that on purpose, or is that just happening?
Not purposely, but I mean, again, it's like when I'm pissed at something, I'm gonna, it's easy for me to act pissed, and that's what we do, like to pretend to be pissed, or, I can't believe that I've been here for 2 years, and you listen to me, I think I'm saying it right, and then I watch the video, I'm like, my God, you could tell that's bad acting. It's just.
Well, the thing is, like you as the character, your character has to put forth more like different emotions than what we do, because you have to be like depressed or like angry, like because you're the one that's being affected by this, by Deathface. Where I just have to like throw a couple lines in there once in a while. And then, like, I think Howard's more in the same line, but you actually have to, like, put emotion, so it's pretty hard to do, I think, sometimes,
Yeah, sure.
So, let's see. Howard, this is for you. There's a scene in episode 1 where I tie a rope around your waist. and I admittedly, I was having trouble tying the proper knot, which meant that I had to constantly keep putting my arms around your hands. What was that like for you, and was it an experience that you'll never forget?
Well, I didn't have any issues. It's you're the one that has issues touching me. I don't, You can touch me all you want, John.
Whoa. It was a fabulous scene.
Exactly.
You liked what was going on there then?
Yes, I enjoyed it. You were giving me, strong hugs. I enjoyed that, and
you'll never forget it.
I will never forget it, and I felt very loved by you. Felt very loved.
That's good.
And appreciated. But that scene, it is difficult to try to do that on the fly. Especially when you're not used to doing knots and stuff. And
yeah, I think I actually came up with the idea that we were gonna have a rope and knots, but then I was like, oh, I don't know how to tie this. Like when we had to do it, I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that whole scene worked out very well. There was a lot of things that we added in that wasn't part of the script, and I think that's something that we decided to change. That you're going to see is a lot better about this series, is that it's not looking like it's forced, and you can see that when episode 2 comes out, that the lines aren't forced out, having to remember and stuff. I think the whole ad-libbing this series is going to work out for the better.
I definitely agree, and people will see when they see episode 2. There are very specific scenes where we purposely did not write specific dialogue for what was going on because we wanted to ad-lib. And let me tell you, Howard, I know you haven't seen it yet, but some of the lines that we came up with are fucking hilarious. Like, they're perfect for what's going on. So wait till you see it. I can't wait for you to see it, man.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
OJ, did you watch it yet? I sent you the link.
Yeah, I got through about half of it, and then the phone call started.
Oh, did you enjoy what you saw?
Yeah. I just wanted to say that, well, you guys have known each other for a long time, so you know how to act around each other, and you acted around each other in a bunch of situations. So translating that into having to be upset or cracking jokes or being disappointed in someone's skills at stuff, you guys have gone through all that before. So does that help out a lot?
I think just because we are, friends who we've gone on many trips, we've played many games together, it's easier. It's not, again, it's not forced. We have this experience of how to react to each other and how to kind of bust in each other's chops constantly. So I think it came pretty naturally, a lot of that commentary of what we were doing and a lot of the ad-libbing that we were doing. Again, not to be too specific, don't want to spoil what we're talking about.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if we were two complete strangers I was sitting there trying to play a game with, I don't know what they're gonna say. I don't know what, I don't know how to react. Like if I try to rib one of them, are they gonna get pissed at me? You know what I mean? So I think it was you'll see what we're talking about when you see episode 2, but I think it really worked out well.
Nice.
So there's actually a few funny moments that transpired outside the actual script. Or the actual filming. I think we should do a better job of capturing the behind-the-scenes stuff too.
Yeah, that is something I regret because we're all acting, and obviously Respect the Pact is busy filming and doing that. There's really no one there to capture the behind-the-scenes stuff, which is a little bit frustrating.
You almost need to have someone just do that.
Right.
Someone come in to do that.
Right.
I know Howard, before we film scenes, Howard likes to say something strange to us. I don't know why.
Any examples for us here?
Yeah, what do you say, Howard? Come on.
There was a scene where we're on the couch. Excuse me. We're on the couch. I forgot what the scene was about, but I always have to point something out. So in that scene, I said, "Oh, John, your beard is looking very, very attractive today." Or
right before we're about
like
to do a scene, he says he sticks to me.
That's.
or in the first episode, the one this is how it started. I had to do a scene with Phil, and then we did a lot of takes. So I was looking at him and I said, "Wow, Phil, you have such beautiful eyes." It started from that. So and then I just keep doing it every time we film. I do say something stupid like that.
So me and Howard almost came to blows last time. What happened there, Howard? What was going on? We're getting mad at each other. Remember?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's when you've been filming for like 6-7 hours.
Plus, it was like 1 a.m.
Yeah,
too.
this is 1 a.m. When someone tries to like give a good idea about something, and then the other person tries to explain why it might not be a good idea, and then one person doesn't like the opinion about that idea, and then the other person has to keep fighting, and then it just turns really nasty. So, but and then like I said, since like John brought up, since we've been working together, or we've been friends for such a long time, it just rolls off your shoulder, whatever.
Yeah, it's like we're like brothers, but it's like a family fight.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll go at each other, then 5 minutes later, it's okay. So
it's okay. I accept your apology, John.
all right, well, I didn't really apologize.
Whoa, what the?
Do you remember during the first episode we did the David Carradine scene, which we were outside,
God.
and there was a car accident right behind us?
Oh, God,
I
yes.
forgot about that, yeah.
You remember this, Howard?
Yes, I remember.
What exactly happened there?
While we're filming, all of a sudden you just hear like I don't know if it was like a bang or like a really large screech, and it's like I turned around, and then it's like one lady hit another guy, and then they're arguing in the middle of the street, and this is in like broad daylight, and I'm thinking to myself, like, wow, all we need now is for these two to throw up fisticuffs, and we need to start filming this instead of doing what we're doing.
Yeah, that should have been part of it. We could have incorporated it in.
Oh yeah. It's especially in the kind of area. I don't live in a bad area, but even though I don't live in a bad area, there's still a lot of things that happen, and it's like sometimes it's impossible to film around here. Like that first episode. How many times did we have to stop for the freaking kid in the backyard asking us what's going on?
Right.
Dude, it was like 10
What's going
minutes.
on?
Yeah,
What
10
you guys
minutes.
doing?
Yeah, exactly. 10 minutes of this kid, what are you doing? What are you doing? I want to be in a movie. And then, couple that with, fire trucks like rolling down the street, howling. And it's hard, man. It's really hard.
I think last time your neighbor was playing music.
Oh my God.
What about when we were banging on the door and then like the guy inside was like, "What's going on out there?"
Oh yeah, he didn't even. I forgot to tell him that we were filming something, and it's it did sound like we're trying to knock the door down.
Oh yeah, I was headbutting it. So,
Yeah, well, John, John's a strong guy. He has been hitting the gym, so.
Right. Yeah.
I think this is a good point to bring up, is to understand we are not trained professionals. This is not a Hollywood production. We don't have, roped off private sets where, we can do whatever we want. We're filming in real world locations and anything can happen. I mean, I was just waiting for the cops to show up after that car accident and then basically ruin our shoot that day because you have sirens all day and people yelling and shit in the middle of the street. Oh God, here it comes.
Oh, it happens often too, where we hear sirens and then we have to hold on for 5 minutes and then wait for the the drive by or whatever.
Oh yeah, and then one of the things that I think this is something that we should bring up is with these kind of this whole series that we're doing, I'm pretty sure it's going to inspire people to do a similar series or their own series or whatever. The only kind of advice that I can give is that if you decide to film in a public place, do not use prop guns. I cannot stress this enough. I'm being serious, man. That's asking for the police to show up. And especially with all this, this whole thing with 9/11, terrorist attacks and stuff like that, you will get arrested.
Nice.
I can't stress this enough.
That would be really. I was about to say it'd be funny, but it wouldn't be funny. But it'd be something. It'd be a story to tell if we all got arrested filming this thing at some point.
God.
That would be an excellent deleted scene for the DVD right there. Us going away in handcuffs. Well, we think there'll be a delay in the release of episode 4.
We would just blame Andre and Paul. Be like they're the ones that made us do this.
Aw.
They forced us into it. So how would you guys describe what it's like to work with Andre and Paul, Respect the Pact, and what would you say about the quality work that they put out?
Well, for myself, first of all, I've never done anything professional like this. All of my stuff that I put on YouTube is always just me talking to my own camera, an unmanned camera. So it's actually interesting to me because being that you have a film crew there filming, you get immediate feedback. So they'll film the scene, and then normally when I film something, I don't have a clue if I said everything I was supposed to say, if it even sounded good, you know what I mean? Now these guys are behind the camera. They can immediately say, no, you know what, let's do another take. Let's do it again. Let's see if we can do it a little bit better, say it a little bit slower, whatever. And that's really interesting to be able to get that instant feedback because I don't get that. But the quality of the guys I was very surprised, first of all, that they had the amount of equipment that they have. I mean, let's face it, giant boom lights and a green screen effects, and they have several different cameras that they use. I was really impressed with the level of professionalism of the filming of the episodes, but then also just the quality of their post-production and the fact that they can, you know, keep in mind these guys, this is not, they have full-time jobs, you know what I mean?
Right.
Project 7 is not what they're working, this is not their occupation. They're not getting paid to do this necessarily as like in place of a job. So they're trying to find time in their personal lives to do this, and just the fact that they can pump out that final edited episode within, say, 2 weeks of us wrapping is pretty impressive. So I have nothing but positive things to say about those guys. They're doing a really good job. I mean, and also when they're really open to feedback. As soon as, like, for example, we just got the first screener of episode 2 last night, and we took a look at it, and they immediately said, gee, we're totally open to changes. What do you think? And I was like, wow, some filmmakers would be like, well, listen, we have creative control because we did the post edit, so we know what we're doing. How dare you question us or say that something else should be in there that's not in there? But these guys are the complete opposite, So I actually watched, I said, oh, that's right. We actually forgot to do this. We forgot to put in this one little musical quip or whatever. I sent it back, and, supposedly later tonight we're going to get another version of it that's probably going to be a little bit better, and that's awesome to have that interactivity and the ability to get that kind of response from your editing guys.
Yeah, even when we're actually doing the filming, they're very open to, now all of a sudden we're experts because we did like an episode, right? But we're like, we suggest things, they're very like, oh, okay, we'll try it like that or like this, It's good stuff.
And the other thing we have to say is they are very patient because, especially with episode 2, we started filming late, and that's mostly my fault. We started filming late, and we were basically making up some scenes on the fly because of certain things that didn't come together in time. So here we are, they think we're just going to go scene to scene to scene. Next thing you know, oh, well, here's a new scene where we have to do this, and we adjust this scene to do this, and they're very open to that. They're not, no, what are you talking about? We're on a schedule here or whatever. They're very flexible, and that's a very good thing to be, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how this all worked out so well with these guys. How they just kind of all of a sudden, like, it was basically like Howard one day is like, yeah, I know these guys and they make great movies. I'm like, okay, and then like it's just perfect, works perfectly. They're great to work with, and they're great guys too. So it's pretty crazy. You anything to say about Respect the Pact, Howard?
From the beginning, I always knew that they, with the kind of equipment that they have and. Their overall professionalism, that it would work with us. It was just that I didn't, I was a little skeptical at first because of the kind of nature, not the nature. They're not used to the way we work. So for them to, like I said, for them to work with us, and it works hand in hand too, because you figure. We have some changes to the script, and they, they actually film it, and then they give their feedback as to, hey, maybe we should do it like this, and stuff like that. And, both them and us, I'm actually pretty surprised that the dynamic and how well it's working. So
you didn't think we were gonna get along?
No, not that we're gonna get along or not, but it was just like, it's difficult. We're very spontaneous in the kind of videos that we do, and for them to have that structured way of doing things. And
that's what you're saying.
Yeah, and on the other hand too, they were actually pretty surprised for me after talking with them after filming the first episode. They were actually pretty surprised at how professional we were, because they automatically thought, oh, everything's going to be done spontaneously, but they didn't think that we were going to come up with a script, a storyboard, go through the whole nine. And that's what I think they were overall surprised. They learned a lot from us as well, because you figure I'm so used to filming with them. Everything that we do when I film with them is very spontaneous. It's on the fly, like we're figuring something out. we're filming. Oh, today we're gonna film, whatever. And it's like, okay, so I guess we're not going in with a script. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna say. I'm just coming up with these lines, off the top of my head, and hopefully they work out. And I think overall, like that, the last, especially you can actually see this with the last episode, this episode 2, is that it's a very long episode, and we were managed to film it in like 7 hours.
I think the way that we do things could best be described as controlled chaos.
Yes.
Because we're very good at like setting stuff up and everything, but like Phil said, we improv a lot, so it's but we're good at like meeting deadlines and doing things like that. I think but
yeah, exactly. And personally, I knew Phil was very organized, but I never knew he was organized at this level. Very systematic and very monotonizing everything, and I was.
Phil, why are you so organized, Phil?
Yeah,
because I was trained to be that way. I actually went to professional training courses at my previous job for continuous improvement and how to lead and how to do business meetings. So that's actually spilling over a lot into our writing meetings, our storyboard meetings. I mean, you see how I take giant Post-it papers and when I write out this storyboard stuff, that comes directly from my business training background. So, it's funny that, you go to get training for like, this a helicopter company, and then it ends up becoming a web series about video games.
Well, if you're self-employed, you have to be disciplined or you're not going to make money. So
that's right. That is true. That. It is not easy to get up every day and put myself through, 8 hours of gaming, especially if it's a game that I don't like. It takes a lot of discipline to put my ass on that couch and play that game when I could just do whatever the hell I want.
Right. So a lot of creative thought too goes into things and how to make things work and stuff like that. And when you have a 9 to 5, sometimes depending on what your job is, you can kind of show up and zone out a little bit or take a couple of mental days off. But if you're self-employed, you can't do that. So, so Howard, we never got to hear from you after MagFest. So what was it like for you to go to your first convention, meet the people, and all that stuff? What was it like for you?
You can actually see it in the few videos that I did with you. I was very excited. Even from the minute that we got there, and it was mainly not due to the convention itself, but was because of meeting the fans. Like that kid that we met that was playing in that StarCraft tournament. I gave him some pointers. Especially from us being so seasoned veterans in tournament play, to try to for him to be not to be so nervous and stuff like that. But it was just like it was very, very nice to meet all these fans and people knowing my name and stuff. And I would have never thought that I would have gotten to where I'm at now before. I would have never dreamed of this. And I got to see a lot of the people that we play ST with showed up, and to see them. I haven't seen Ganelon in like a year and a half. So to see him and Mars.
Well, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Dude.
Oh!
Oh my God.
John, come on, man.
We're friends. We're
Oh,
friends.
man, dude.
Joking.
And the other
listens to the show. It's okay.
And the other thing too is like that whole booth with the old school games. To actually see one of those special gold Nintendo floppy disks. I've never seen one in person. So,
are you looking to go to any more conventions with us or what?
I'm hoping. If my finances allow me to.
Hey John, what conventions are coming up that we should go to? Because you know all about this.
I think PAX East is in.
Well, that's not happening.
Let's not speak of PAX East.
What else is there?
Next up, gosh, the only other one I really pay attention to is Otakon, and that's an anime convention. Gaming conventions, oh dear, I don't know when the next big gaming convention is either.
Well, the next one that I'm aware of, and this is funny that the timing of this. Okay, Too Many Games this year is actually in June, and this morning the director emailed me and asked me if we were coming back this year, to which I responded and said, absolutely. We had a very successful panel at MagFest. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't want to do the same kind of thing at their event, and he's offered to put us officially on the guest list.
Nice.
And possibly get us into a couple VIP events that are going to be there. So,
what do they have? What's a VIP event?
I'm actually not supposed to say. He told me not to tell anyone what it is. So.
Okay. You tell me off the air, I guess, or you can't tell me.
Oh, no, I could tell you off the air. I'm just not supposed to be public knowledge yet, but it's basically something going to happen that should draw a lot of people to Too Many Games this year. And So I think it's going to be fun, and I think it's definitely that's the first thing I can see on our agenda. And then maybe in July we can try to get in Kineticon and actually get them to respond to an email this time and see if we can get a panel there. Because I was really disappointed last year. I really wanted to get in there, and they just never responded. And that was like, what are you kidding? At least tell me no. Don't have the courtesy to respond.
Right. In your own state, of course.
Of course.
Of all places, it definitely would be Kineticon that would be annoying to work with, It just makes sense. It's poetic in a way. So episode 2 of Project 7 is coming shortly. Phil and I watched it today. Howard has not watched it. I guess he's not watching. I don't know. So what should people expect to see in this episode besides the bad acting? What should people expect to see?
Okay, well, especially in episode 2, what you're going to start to see is basically like the outline of the series. You're going to start to understand the structure of how the series is going to work. For example, in episode 1, a lot of people were asking, well, why is it called Project 7? Is it just going to be Phil playing games? Is it going to be them just doing skits? What is the structure of this series? That's very confusing. I understand that the pilot was only 7 minutes long. We were just basically trying to explain how this series can come to be after 2 years of, being on the show. So now in episode 2, you're going to start to see an established plot line of what exactly is going on with my gaming powers, what our goal is in this series, and how exactly we're going to try to reach this goal. I think also what you're going to see is the establishment of a couple running jokes, which you might not necessarily recognize right off the bat, but as the series progresses, you're going to see that there are different themes and things that will come up repeatedly over the course of the series, and this is maybe going to be the episode where there's the origin of a couple of those. And also you're going to see, as we already talked about, but I think it is really worth mentioning, is a lot of ad-libbing. This was the time where rather than just sitting there necessarily reading from a script the entire time, we were trying to do a lot of on-the-fly stuff, and I think it really comes out in not only what's going on, but there's just the commentary and the things that come out during our on-the-fly stuff is really genuinely funny. It's almost like a throwback to us doing real co-op playthroughs. So I think all those things, are going to jump out at people. And the other thing is it's long. This episode is like 15 minutes long. And I think the way it's looking, we actually did already do the initial writing for episode 3. It looks like future episodes are probably going to end up being a decent amount of length. They're not going to be just, a quick 7 minutes like that first pilot episode was.
Yeah, I think we have a better idea of how much to write now. I think the first one we were all kind of guessing how long it would be.
Exactly.
And I was like 20 minutes. And someone was like 10 minutes, and then it turned out being like 7 minutes.
Right. Well, and now our philosophy is more is better than not enough. So what we've been doing, especially episode 2 we did this, episode 3 we're going to do this. We're going to put in enough content, enough dialogue that if it's too long, we can cut it down to the perfect, say, 10 or 15 minutes, as opposed to what happened with episode 1. We thought we had filmed enough or maybe even too much, and it definitely wasn't enough to come together to be a full 10-minute episode. So this is good, because what this will do is create extra footage that later on, if we were ever to release a DVD set, or maybe if we were just to do special videos later on YouTube or whatever, we have all these deleted scenes and this stuff that wasn't used that we can actually reveal at a later date.
Right.
People love
I'm
that
pretty
stuff.
proud of the fact that we write it out and then we actually show up to film it, and then we wind up, coming up with a lot of new ideas. We're good at thinking on our feet and coming up with stuff, and I think that's something that not everyone has. I think so. I'm pretty proud of that fact.
Yeah, I mean, just think about in episode 2, and we won't reveal obviously what the scene is, but there was a particular scene that we had to rewrite twice on the fly because one person who was supposed to be there didn't show up, and then another person who was going to help us out disappeared, and we couldn't find them. Just think about that. Oh, I'm gonna do this part. 2 hours later, we don't know where the person is. They've vanished from the film site, and we don't know where they are. It's pretty crazy.
So, pretty excited. It's coming out this weekend. Howard, while you're here, actually, I know we make a lot of jokes about you never uploading videos to your YouTube channel. I don't know if people realize this or not, but you actually play a lot. You stream a lot on your Twitch.tv channel. So tell us what you've been doing on there.
Been doing this past week I did Call of Duty with my nephew, a little Battlefield, did Saints Row, and then I've been doing Skyrim a lot, some Street Fighter 4, some Marvel 3, and I just wanted to put it out there that 2012. I dubbed this the road to 2012 since there's a lot of tournaments for ST coming up. So I'm getting the shiver in my bones, as I like to call it. So we're gonna start playing again starting Sunday.
Oh yeah.
This Sunday. I don't even know what's the actual date.
Should figure that out, dude. I think it's the
26th. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's February 26th between 1 and 3 p.m. ST will begin again. Got a full house. The usuals. Fred Nahoho's coming down. Fernando the Real Decoy. And then I guess Damien's trying to bring a couple of his friends too. So hopefully, they show up. And you too, John Rambo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how much you offer me to come.
Yes. Oh yeah. And then like I said, I'm hoping that I got to talk to Respect the Pack, but we're probably going to start doing playthroughs with them. So I have to iron out the details with that as well. So. All
right. So all you people saying Howard, you never upload, blah blah blah. You can watch Howard play games all the time at twitch.tv/don'tblowthis, right?
Yes,
That's
sir.
the address.
May I make a quick recommendation for Howard? Because this is something that I've learned that's actually helped me a lot since I've been on YouTube. Is if you know what you're going to do. Now, I know you probably don't always know what you're going to be streaming or when you're going to be doing it. But if you just make like a quick video once a week, like I call it the week in preview, and just say, okay, I know this week on Wednesday I'm going to be playing some Skyrim. On Sunday we're going to be playing Super Turbo. And just put it on your channel. People will get used to that. And then I guarantee you will see an increase in the views on your stream because people.
Yeah, dude, you
know
have like
what to
6,000
expect.
subscribers.
I think the problem right now is they're not sure what Howard's going to be doing and when he's going to be doing it. They might get that automated email that says, "Oh, Don't Blow This is now streaming." I get them, and sometimes I jump on and sometimes I don't. But if you have a set schedule and people know when to look for stuff, you'll probably have a higher chance of getting more viewers.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I know I don't really have like a strategy about what I do. I'm usually just spontaneous and just turn it on and start playing. But that's a pretty interesting way of doing it. And I'm just like right now. I had called John yesterday. I'm trying to get used to this thing with social media, and like Facebook is so effing complicated to use. I'm not even lying, man.
I don't even have it. So
yeah, we have a Don't Blow This account with Facebook. I went to go post on it yesterday, but it posted under my Facebook account.
No.
So I don't know. I don't even know what the hell how that works or what the hell's going on. I'm being serious. So I might just stick to Twitter and just keep tweeting.
No, I believe you. People ask me all the time for me to set up a Facebook account, and I refuse because it's complicated. It's got all the people linked to it and stuff, and some people have even recommended that we do a Facebook account for Project 7. I was like, that's fine. You want to run it? Because I'm not going to be on there trying to figure out how the hell to do that stupid thing. I mean, Twitter.
I got enough going on with Twitter, YouTube.
Twitter is so easy. Twitter is instant gratification. You want to say something, you say it, you're done. You leave. Facebook is like, oh, you got to upload pictures and videos. Then you got to say this publicly on your wall, and then you can have a profile over here. It's like, what the fuck?
Then like other people could post on your wall too, and blah blah blah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I had people, like the other day I went to go check a message. They found me through Don't Blow This and not my own Facebook account. I'm like, what the hell? These people are like from like grade school. Weird, dude. Very weird.
Hey, Howard, so I hear you blow a lot of stuff these days, huh? Good job.
Oh, my God.
Nice. So before we get out of here, Phil, how is the Vita going? Did you mess with that?
Oh, good question. I've got it yesterday, and I did play. So far, the games I've played Dungeon Hunter Alliance, and I've played Uncharted Golden Abyss. And what I can say, I can tell you what I like and what I don't like. What I like about the system, the controls feel natural. It feels like a regular gaming controller, like on a console. I think a lot of the problems with previous portable systems is that it feels like you're holding something weird. You know what I mean? It doesn't have dual thumbsticks. It doesn't have the buttons in the right place, so it kind of feels odd. This one feels like you're kind of playing on a PlayStation 3, which is a good thing. The screen on this thing is huge. Like, obviously they told you the measurements before you bought it, but I didn't realistically know how big that was going to be till I get it in my hands, and the screen is just gigantic for a portable system, which is pretty neat. And the graphics on the two games I've played are just crisp, clear. It kind of looks like everyone said, it looks like you have a portable PS3 in your hands, which is pretty neat. Some of the negatives I'd say about it are, number one, the speakers are god-awful. Like, I'm trying to play Uncharted, and I can barely hear the dialogue, and the speakers are maxed out. So, and keep in mind, I'm playing in my condo. I'm not like out on the street or in a car. I'm sitting in my condo with nothing around me, and I can't hear what anyone's saying. So that's kind of annoying. And so obviously they're expecting you to use headphones with this system. Also, definitely with Uncharted, the other game, Dungeon Hunter, really doesn't require you to do this, but it seems like they're trying to force these new control types down your throat, or at least showcase all the things on the Vita. So, for example, the Vita has a touchscreen on the back of the system, which is like, wow, why would they even put that there? Well, in Uncharted, they force you to rotate artifacts around with your fingers on the back of the Vita, and it doesn't control very well. And then this is what really irks me. When you're doing melee combat, you'll hit a guy twice, then all of a sudden the game will say, oh, well, now you have to swipe your finger across the front touchscreen in a swooping motion to kick the guy in the face, and sometimes you go to do it, it doesn't even work. So it's kind of like...
That's like, because it has the functionality, they feel like they have to put it in the game in some way.
Right, like they have to... This is the game that's going to showcase the Vita, so we have to put every single functionality into this game to do it. And for me, number one, for me, it's frustrating because obviously I've played the other Uncharted games and it didn't have to do that, and it's like, why are we doing this? And the other thing is, you get fingerprints all over your damn screen. Like, you're playing the game, you see greasy fingerprints all over it. It's like, come on, man. There's actually sequences where you have to take a piece of paper and rub it over a carving, like you're doing like a charcoal rubbing. So you literally have to touch every single portion of your screen with your fingers when you're playing the game repeatedly. And it's like, what the hell were they thinking there? It's just really odd. But
is there any way you could record the gameplay in any possible way?
That's another negative. Unfortunately, do not. There is an expansion port on the Vita, but they have not provided any accessory to hook it up to a TV to beam the footage to an external video device. So really, no one's been able to do playthroughs of Vita games except for like trying to do over-the-shoulder footage that looks like shit. Obviously, I mean, how do you film a moving portable system? You know, it just doesn't work. So there are some games that have cross-compatibility with PS3, and what that means is, like, for example, Wipeout 2048. It's already out for PS3, and so if you buy it for PS3, you can also play it on your Vita, and you can go between the two systems. Like, you can play it on a PS3 and then save your game, and then continue your game later on your Vita, which is a nice feature, but I just want to be able, like, why can't you play it on your PS3? You know what I mean? Like, why can't my PS3 is already hooked up to my TV. Why can't I sync it so that I can use, like, the Vita as a controller and play the game on my TV? That would be awesome, but I guess on its core, it is a portable system.
I don't know. I guess they feel like maybe it'll compete with the PS3 games, or people won't buy those or something. I don't know what the idea is behind it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a little weird, but for now, I mean, I've only played it one day. I'm going to play it later tonight. I'm going to play some more. And I'm going to actually put out a video on DSP Gaming later this week, probably on Friday, of like my first impressions of the system and what I think about it. Right now, I'm loving the games. My number one complaint is being forced to use these new weird control types and the fact that the damn thing was so expensive. I mean, $250, then I had to buy a memory card because you cannot play games on it without a memory card, and it doesn't come with it. And then, you know, obviously you don't want to hold it, but you have to get some kind of a case for it or whatever. And it's just, it's pricey. I mean, who's going to spend over $300 for this portable system when you can buy a PS3 for like $200? It doesn't even.
Oh man, you know? Yeah, that's crazy. And they got to learn, just because it has functionality doesn't mean every game has to use every part of it. Like, it doesn't, you know, you don't have to do that. You know, I don't understand that line of thinking, but.
Well, they did that like crazy for the 3DS and the Wii.
Yeah.
Everything
is like that. It's like oh, we have motion controls capable, so make every game motion controls.
Yeah.
The thing that I do like about the 3DS, though, is that they don't force the 3D down your throat. Like, you have the ability to adjust the 3D on the fly. You don't have to use it if you don't want. While on the Vita, some of these games force you to use these weird gimmicky controls that don't necessarily work just for the sake of doing it. So.
All right, so I think that'll do it, gentlemen. Howard has to go watch episode 2.
That's right.
Yes.
So, do you guys have any final words for the audience today?
I guess I would say definitely, you know, check out episode 2, premiering on DSP Gaming early Sunday AM, Eastern Standard Time, and we love to hear your feedback. I really am dying to see what people think about episode 2 compared to episode 1, being that it was the second time we were doing this, and I think we had a little bit more experience under our belt.
I'm sure they'll give you their feedback. They always do.
And I'm sure no matter what, we'll be told it's too long, it's too short, you guys weren't funny. you guys are too good of acting. You guys suck at acting. The effects were too good. The effects weren't good enough. So we're
Howard is the best. Howard is the worst.
Yeah, Howard was the best. John was the best. Phil sucks. Phil's the best. And you're like, how am I supposed to tell anything from these comments? Like, nobody...
it's part of the fun. It's part of the fun, though, as you know.
But,
all right, guys. Oh, Howard, what's your final words? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm with Phil on that one. I kind of want to see, hear what the feedback is, but at the same time, I don't. I'm really, just reading all those, those comments, tend to be daunting and makes no sense sometimes. So, but on the other hand, if you can, just tune in on Sunday actually at between 1 and 3 p.m. Twitch.tv/Don'tBlowThis. And on the chat, let me know what you think of the video, and please participate and enjoy what we're showing, I guess.
All right, that's that. So Project 7, early Sunday morning. Stay up all night and check it out. Someone just fart? What was that?
No, that was Phil burping.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So,
we're still on the air. Excuse me.
Yeah, we're still going here.
I'm in the bathroom.
Off
Sorry.
So stay up all night and watch it, or get up early Sunday and get some brunch or whatever and check out the episode. So
that's right. Watch it.
That'll do it.
Multiple times.
Multiple watches. Yes.
Okay.
Show it to the whole family. They all want to see it. So that'll do it. The show will be back next week with another guest. For Howard, for DSP, for OJ, this is John signing off. Thank you for listening to John Rambo Presents, the best in free and optional
diarrhea.
You're a jerk.